Can I have a drink?
Sorry.
Icebreaker.
Makasih Pak.
Makasih Pak. Pak Udi.
Terima kasih. Oke, mau minta apa?
Oh, it's not. It's not. What do I need to do?
Just hope you just
What shall I unplug it and re-plug it in?
Yep.
There we go.
Ya.
Fine.
You want to use your
You
laptop?
want to try your laptop?
Yes, converter with you.
I didn't bring any.
HDMI.
Oh, I thought you said it's for the.
Here. Let me just try and unplug it.
Yeah, maybe.
Put it back in. See if that works.
Should work.
Ta-da.
Okay.
Good help. That one. Yes.
Ah,
good.
okay, there we go.
Awesome.
And also the design is also in the back of the proposal that I had passed out, so just in case you are interested.
I think the design team first.
Sorry, just
Design team first.
Yeah.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay, thank you everybody. So good afternoon. We are from Alien Design Consultant. So you might be wondering why Alien. It's not us that is from outer space, but it's more of an acronym. So A is for architecture, landscape, interior, estates, Nusantara. So actually, we are having 4 departments at our office. So I'm actually heading the architectural department. Then Mr. Hendro here is as a senior interior designer to handle the interior design department. We also have landscape design and also estates department. So for helping JLL and supporting them in this project, we are more heavy into the department of interior that Mr. Hendro is handling. So Mr. Hendro will be day-to-day, if we got this project together with JLL, definitely every weekly meeting we'll be having it together. Mr. Hendro will be the PIC in charge, and then in the team also we have like 5 interior designers, including drafters. So if necessary, we also can be managed inside your office if necessary. But it depends on the stages actually. If it's on the conceptual design stage, normally we will not stay at your office because we are focusing into more design at our internal office location, right? Because we need to have the library, material library, and the design brainstorming and everything else. But when it comes into the project management side, then we'll be having a specific project manager, Mr. Chris Irianto. Actually, we have it in our company profile that we might not show now because the time is very limited, right? Then, okay, I guess to save timing, I will ask Mr. Hendro here to present. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Right, so probably we can just skip the project background because we already know what here we are actually looking for. Right, so this is only the all the research that you have already done. Right, see you have 587 plus another 127 packs vacant seats. Right, and then I think maybe next slide. We might want to start from. Should I go ahead?
Yeah, if you want to do this.
So,
No problem.
no problem.
We'll swap hot seats.
Yeah.
You get the hot seats.
Yeah, sure. Right, so, okay, let's start with retail banking. I know you have 2 different types here, retail banking and general offices. Right, so we actually have a case study, which is this building, ground floor. Right, we try to actually have, probably I can just head up. From the moment you enter, right, I changed a bit the layout, right, have more frontal view towards the entrance, and then of course you have the ATM side, and then I will have greeters and operators kind of island. So I try not to split it, so you have more integrated spaces. right? And here, we try to actually accommodate technology into banking itself. So of course, we have this high bench where you can actually bring your customers to fill out forms, probably quick discussions. Of course, then you have lunch, and then you have like open meeting spaces with technology enabled, right? And then here is actually the customer services, and then the waiting lounge area, and then here is actually the tellers area, right? And then next one, our concept is, of course, I haven't really think about deeply about the concept, but here in the Qatar base in Indonesia, so I was thinking like Sandun and then rice terrace study, and then we try to have like sensual kind of forms, and then stacking kind of rice body inspirations, right? And then we also have like those kind of Islamic kind of modern kind of pattern into the design itself. Right, so we try to gel that together, and then it becomes something like this. So when the client actually the visitor comes in, the customer comes in, they will see undulating kind of shape, sensual kind of shape of the sand dune, and then the different height of terrace body. Right, and then of course we add a bit of like Islamic kind of pattern into the pillar itself. Right, we have lighted, and then of course here, like you see, this is actually the island counter where you have the greeters and then also the operators for probably the gate. Right, of course, the LED welcome display actually can display a lot of things. Welcome kind of signage, or probably you want to have like info currency or something. So the point is, we want to actually enhance the customer experiences. Well, we have like technology side, we also have like hospitality kind of side. Right? Of course, there's another view towards the area. Right? That side is actually the high bench, and this is the lounge area where everybody can relax. Probably customer service can come down and then talk to the clients. In a more informal kind of way, more loungy kind of way. Right? Of course, those kind of media display, you can actually display news, banking news, or probably you want to present something, a quick one. So it's like a very kind of, how do I say, agile working that you were actually looking for, right? And then, so we try to have, more neutral color palette here, white kind of Carrara marbles, and then, black kind of marbles tile for the walls, right? And then here's actually the rendering, there's a lot of light play, elements, and then it's more towards like when you walk in to hotels, where the guests actually feel welcomed, and then they want to see to know more about the product itself, right? So in a sense, it gives sense of trust to the client, sense of power of that probably like established as a banking, and then next area is where the customer service is, and then one of the modern Islamic kind of pattern, we just use it for dividers instead of the low dividers. And then here, this area is actually what I like about is where you can actually bring your client customer service, either your retail banking or either probably people who worked at your offices, just to come down and then have small discussions with technology enabled. This is like an LCD kind of projection screen, right? Then you can have like spreadsheets, quick discussions, right? And then right, there's something like this. So it's open, it's very quick one. You can because it's actually quite secluded, so you can actually just talk quite comfortable, without having to worry that people will actually listen to you that much, because we actually put quite a distance between the table itself and the sofa. Right. And then there's another benching ideas, so we pick up the colors, QMB, there's blue, there's magenta, and then there's white, it looks posh, and then it looks, high-tech with technology enabled kind of thing too, right? And then of course, these benches, you can actually have a quick discussion with your customers, and then you can actually use, maybe fill up forms or something. Right, so this is the general material color scheme, actually pretty much basic right now. So just the elements can be and then established kind of marbles and then bronze kind of finishes. So we want to have like very premium kind of look and feel for the banking itself. Just a carpet, raw carpet, so its adapt textures is actually enhance the hospitality kind of theme. And then, of course, some of furnitures, loose furnitures, just to enhance the hospitality theme. And then, of course, now we're moving on to general offices design. Right, so our design approach actually is almost the same like Q&B kind of statement, right? We have communal and then we have diverse, competitive, responsive, unconscious, right? So we have all those elements how supporting enable kind of agile working or activity-based work. Right? And then of course on our design strategy we want to emphasize on social kind of social places and then focus on people potentials by providing them a good place to work, right? A good place for collaborations, and then a good place where people can just bump in and then have a like quick discussions, quick meeting, without having like sense of secluded. It's very much flexible, right? So of course, maybe nowadays, if you want agile working, we should actually know this. It should be like less about me, but more about us. So it's probably less private offices, right? More shared spaces, more meeting spaces, more collaborative spaces, more double up spaces, right? Where you can actually work anywhere, anytime, depend on how you want it, and then as long as actually increase your productivity, why not? So, okay, so the design objective itself is high performance workplace, adaptable, reconfigurable, and future-proof. Hopefully, right? This is just a zoning principle, right? So when you come in, of course, I'm not sure if you have already lockers here. So we have lockers normally in social place, utility feeling, and then team spaces where teamwork work actually undistracted, right? Then reflective work is actually where you need some privacy time probably away from your team, but probably still can see them, yeah. And then of course you have quiet, a phone booth, you have work meet, it's a meeting places where you can actually still work and you still have a meeting. Right? That still need a drink.
Okay, maybe
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you about,
Yes.
Go back to the banking.
Yes, yes.
I don't know if we have not informed you clearly that our retail banking is already been standard.
I know, but
Right?
we don't have it, so that's
Okay,
why.
yeah. So I think thank you for the design, but if you refer to our SCBD office, retail banking, I think that is not our latest design. That is why I think
Gajah
you
Mada.
already go to Gajah Mada,
Yeah.
because that is our latest design, and that is
So you have a design toolkit perhaps?
already. So for the retail banking, we will stick to that design.
Okay.
Yes.
So playing around with the design is okay, but only for certain area.
Yes.
Rental perception is clearly cannot be touched.
Right, okay.
Sellers and etc.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't design the other side.
So I think it's good, but I think it's quite similar to our design, but for this project, if you are appointed, it's quite it's easier because for retail banking you just copy and then do the layout for retail banking,
Understand.
and then you can work out on the typical flows.
Sure, okay.
Actually, for this presentation is not about because we don't have the design toolkit yet. This is a pitching, right? We just want to show, okay, we have a limited design toolkit. What will we do to this space? So, so that later on, if we get the design toolkit, definitely, well then it's easier than creating a new one, right? But it's just to show and elaborate Mr. Kendra's design.
Actually, yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Any more questions? Probably.
thanks.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you, Al.
Yeah. Okay, let's back on to this. Okay. So agile working or activity-based work. So there's a lot of design approach that we can actually use. And then, like you were saying, we have different kind of case parts actually that we can actually share to you. This is actually just general approach where normally in a large role play, actually this is medium role play, right? You have your hub, and typically right before you went to your people space or community space or your team desk, you have different type of choices of place that you can actually work, meet, and then probably have relaxed. So it's actually we quite understand, but the only problem is now we don't really have the plan, and then we can't really have like specific or schematic kind of design on how actually to present that. So that's why this is only our planning principle. So you have lift, lobby there, active hub, and then small rooms, large meeting rooms, quiet rooms, and then primary workspace, of course, that people space, and then supports utility and etc. Right. So all of this thing actually, hopefully, it's aligned with your company standards, or probably have your own design guideline. That will be fantastic. We can actually run through it, and then we can actually make some adjustment probably. Right. Right, concept design, of course, geometric, harmonic, dynamic, right? So we want to try, of course, we still have, I'm not too sure, is it okay to have like modern Islamic kind of thing, or you actually more kind of like universal design language? Do you prefer universal design kind of language for your offices? Or because some company, especially banking, they have their own standard. Like Citi, when we work with them, right, they are very like for the for their new offices in Singapore, they actually have their own standard design guidelines. So we actually help them about the design guideline. Of course, Citi, they want it more emoji kind of company, but they like it more sleek. But what about QNB itself? Because I only have like your retail banking small pictures, so I can't really tell.
Actually, on the previous meeting and also on the site surveys, we already explained to all the consultants.
Yeah.
This is what we have.
Yeah.
That is why we do the surveys to all the floors in this
Okay.
head office and then other.
Okay.
To show what is can be.
It's
Yeah.
quite diverse from what I
Quite diverse.
understand. In the different design the different office spaces, because they were done maybe 2012, 2000.
Yes, but the design itself is not too much different.
Right. Okay.
Between Jam Sostek, Mega Kuningan, and CBD,
Yeah.
I think it's typical office. It's to me it's a conservative traditional one, right?
Oh,
So,
okay. So
if you ask me, what is the whether is it Islamic modern or you can look from
Okay.
our office.
Okay, so probably just go toward this. How about this kind of concept images, that we're looking for, arrival receptions. Is this kind of look that you're actually looking at for your new offices? Because I'm running through like Dubai, Qatar, they're very hospitality, but they're also like very high tech kind of company and countries, right? They want both, mix of worlds, right? So do you like this kind of thing? Is it suitable, or is this better for you? Like, okay, maybe this one's too cold, maybe this one is too clean, or maybe
Well, I
this
think
one is too
we have
woody.
different
Yeah.
styles, right? That we
Yeah.
can offer as concept images.
Yeah, but altogether, we still want to have that hospitality kind of theme, right? So, is it what you have in mind? Or
Well, for sure, can be keep their standard is high, right?
yeah,
As you enter this premises, is very
Yep.
the quality is different than other. And then technology for sure.
yeah.
So in mix of that, that's what we like.
So okay, so this one and that one should represent, okay, right? Then another one, like arrival. When there's arrival, you have Anji and field. This that room over there actually transforms to a meeting room, client meeting spaces, so you can actually interact with your client. try and bring them back to the lounge area after you have like meeting spaces, right? And then, of course, towards the client meeting area, client, you have like hot desking, you have some refreshment bars, so you can actually, talk casually with your client, probably discuss more about projects. I think. So this is just like I say, one of the kits of parts of agile working. Try when you arrive, lounging, then you have your hot desking there, and you have your refreshments, so people can actually just work and meet. Right? So some features probably, and then if we're talking about agile working, if you have multiple floors, right? I'm not too sure here in Indonesia, probably you can have like punch out, then you can have vertical kind of connection staircase. So actually, you conserve energy. You actually allow people to meet up, casually, and then different team, different parts, across the building, right? And then, of course, center along the staircase itself, you have the hub itself, right? The hub, social hub, is actually where you have your pantry, your breakout spaces, your casual meeting spaces, right? So the next one is actually the boardroom, probably video conference room. So again, hospitality look, and then high-tech kind of look and feel, right? Technology and then as well. But another one here is actually the client spaces. Of course, you probably some banking. Once you have a meeting, you have like probably lunch or brunch or something. You can actually serve there because this one adjacent to like service pantry, but it's not service pantry. It's really pantry for your client, like very clean one. Right. So again, operable walls, right? Make it more spacious. The floor is actually look grand, and then right. And then here is, like I say, technology enables, right? And then different kind of arrangement. Probably, we can have that for probably your specific kind of floor that actually house all the meeting spaces, probably, right? Of course, technology, upstate double glazing, lightings, everything is there. Right here is not a small meeting spaces, so in between, we have those kind of cozy kind of, cozy kind of place where people can actually just sit down and have a quick discussions. Right, again, a smaller meeting room. Right. This one 4 packs, and then this one can be phone booth, can be a small private offices, right? So all in all, the look and feel is like very warm, very cozy, right? And then this is the big kind of meeting rooms, like with operable walls, where you can have large boardrooms, right? Then you have like training spaces, right? Of course, we have like linear lights, kind of, so it have more light distribution, so it doesn't feel like dim. It doesn't. It needs to full of energy because you have meeting rooms. This is just a small furniture fixtures that we choose. Maybe chair selections. Then again, sorry, again. Yeah, probably here is all the hot desking and then small casual meeting spaces, right? The hot desking doesn't need to be like just a big bench, right? Sometimes you need to have like your own thought, your own way away from your team, right? So you can actually work here, then you can actually, work quietly, for a few hours probably, and then you can bring a small discussion team. So again, it's making people move and making people choose what kind of type of style of work that they want. Right. Again, this is a team collaboration spaces. So in between the teamwork, we have small collaborations, right? So we should actually have more light penetration. So that's why it's nice to have these collaborations next towards the glass facades. But of course, by placing the workstation near to the glass facade, especially if it's not double glazing or triple glazing, it's too hot, right? So might as well just use that for small collaborations. Of course, some private booth. Right? Again, reflectors, backgrounds. You can just bring your laptop, enjoy the view. Work creatively, and then be inspired of the view, probably. Right? some kind of another touchdown, of course, like private booth as well. I'm not sure if you already use this one. A few banks like JPM, Citi, they use this kind of thing, but different bank, different style, right? So we have different type of kits of parts that actually you can choose from. It's maybe probably after we get promoted, we can actually discuss that in detail. Right? Of course, the teamwork, because you have your maybe motorized, maybe manual kind of testing that you actually can adjust the height. So actually increase your wellness. You don't need to sit around for long times. Right? Some people like to work studying. Right? And in private offices, of course, private offices is more kind of individual kind of pace, but we still keep the balance there, calm and then understated. Other private offices, right? And then here's actually another showing the breakout spaces. So breakout spaces is like hub is very important. You don't really need to have to use all the big meeting room or small meeting room. You can just have your team room there, benches or whatever. It's very agile. It's very collaborative spaces, right? I guess food and drink will make it more easier for people to communicate, right? And then here's another bar. Probably you have your media you want to present, but you can be, sometimes, even employees don't know anything about, what happened into the company itself. So probably, by having a big media wall, you can control a lot of information there. Right? And then where people actually try to get away from everything, when I try to refresh them up, and then probably have small notes and very private small discussions, right? You can introduce plants because we're in tropic, of course, and then Jakarta is like very polluted, so probably we need like fresh air indoors. Right, again, very cozy, very like gardenish kind of look and feel, right? Uh, I think that's it. This is just a quick plan actually that we done for level 7, but probably we just skip this. Yep. Any more questions?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Existing furniture?
Yes, if you're. These design are, I think.
It doesn't need to be this way. We can adjust towards your style, right? It's just how to be actually envisioning the space itself. There's so many different places, like quiet spaces where you can still have a drink, you can still have a chat. It's surrounded with lush garden, lush kind of a lot of natural light. This kind of element that actually enhance the employee kind of experience, you see, and then wellness as well, right? A place where like a social hub where you can actually socialize after office hours or maybe lunchtime, right, or brunch time. So we have a lot actually, but after we get the plan, the basic plan, we can actually implement this into your new design.
So for your proposal on this concept, whether have you considered using our existing workstation as we have mentioned?
Workstation, yeah. Well, that's it. I need to take a look the where are you moving? Which building is it? Then we need to take inventory. We can actually adjust that one. But are you using like 100% of your furniture?
Yes, maybe Pak Udi.
Yeah. So as per the site visit, the picture shows that the back office use the existing furniture.
That should be no problem, right? I mean, workstation is working based on modular, right? Probably there's, if we get the right floor plate, actually, if it's modular, then we can just reconfigure it. We ask the vendor, hey, can you actually reconfigure this thing based on our design, right? But the thing is that we showing to you is actually all the supporting kind of spaces that actually will further enhance your experiences. So probably, I don't know if you have a nice long kind of table that you want to reuse, probably you can still use it. Maybe light fixture you can have new, so it's combinations between new and an existing one. I think there should be no problems, right? Yeah.
So, yeah, as we explained to all the consultants,
Yeah.
the base, our ground for design is number one, we are going to use our existing furnitures.
Yes.
Yep.
Most of our session will be used at the.
So
new
reuse, so
premises.
do you have the inventory list or?
The inventory list, we can provide that.
Okay.
And during the visit, we show what kind of station that we have.
You have, yeah, so we just take
we
that
ask
into.
all of you guys to our site to give you some ideas about what is our workstation looks like,
Sure.
what is our environment looks like,
Sure.
and then on the design
We can
you
integrate it
yeah, you
into
can
the,
give us,
using the
this is,
existing furniture.
how
Sure.
your office will be using our existing and adding that.
Yes, the concepts.
Yeah, I would love to do that, like I said, but since we're not working into the planning stages first, like, so we just show you, the concept of,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yep, more questions probably?
Maybe for the price, you can break it to square meter price.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you need an update with the square meter
Yeah, because we still don't know exact area that we will
that
have.
you will
Yeah.
be using.
Yeah, that's why
Okay.
it will be easier for us and also for JLL to calculate the total price later after we have total area.
Okay, sure. We can include that. Are there any other questions with regards to
Okay.
either of the presentations?
Now, for the project itself, can we go to
Project.
project
Yes.
Timeline.
timeline? I know where we're going. And about the design itself.
Yes.
Is there any experience from your previous projects that we have a lot of agile area, right?
Yes.
We have a lot of collaboration area. In terms of space, in terms of leasing area,
Yep.
is there any additional risk that we have to consider using that agile, or we are actually saving rental area using that agile system?
Yeah, well, basically that's the idea of agile working, right? You have the same flow plate, right? But then you can actually maximize the numbers of people, the headcounts that you actually want to. But then it depends on how your company actually working. Either some of you actually working mobile. Is it 20% people working mobile? Is it 40% working mobile? Does all your CEO or MD or directors or GM do they need private offices, or they don't really need private offices, right? So can they actually share it, right? So there's a lot of way actually we can actually do a lot of workshops. So we would like to know better about how your organizations work, and then probably we have like a case study, right? Okay, this company, for instance, Citibank and JPMs, this is how they work. Is it acceptable for you guys? Is it okay for your management to have like relinquish their private offices, and then but instead you will get more spaces that are actually more beneficial towards your company. More
So
productivity.
Jones Lang LaSalle actually has corporate strategy solutions.
Yeah.
So we actually can provide you with specialists who can come in and we can do the surveys and talk to your employees and actually help you manipulate your space properly, so that you are managing,
Correctly.
both your workplaces and providing the spaces that you need and not actually wasting.
Yeah. I mean, based on your experience on previous projects,
Right.
using agile working space, whether it is saving your space or
Yeah.
actually on the other way around, That's what I'm asking.
Well, I think it really depends on the actual company itself and probably the organization of it and how it is actually broken up, because a lot of it has to do with the management and training, retraining oftentimes,
Culture as well.
culture, race, it all has to do with how you've been brought up, and some people prefer the private offices, other people prefer collaborative workspaces. Gender and it really depends on how your office space actually works, I think.
So whether
it is something that can
Yeah.
be integrated but it does take a little bit of training, I think, and maybe a little understanding and then a push usually from upper management to integrate that into the system, I think.
Yeah. So that's why it relates to our schedule, because our schedule is quite tight on the design development, right?
Right.
And whether it is doable or not with this time schedule,
Is it
you think
something
it
that's
is possible
doable?
to work things out? Your specialist, also our team.
Yes, if you'd like, I can definitely. So the corporate solutions, and as far as strategic planning, that is kind of a different department. But I'm happy to maybe give her a call. She works out of Singapore and she often does trips here, so we can see maybe if that's something that can happen in the near future. Is that something that you would be interested in?
I mean, we are very interested in agile working station, but
Right.
again, we want to know whether it is applicable to us, knowing that a lot of things
Your
that
time.
we have to change, right?
Yeah,
About the
the
culture,
timeline
about
and-
whether your specialist already had enough time to get the information from us. or not.
Sure.
So whether this timeline is whether it's still possible to do
So
that.
it's a
things
6
or
Yeah,
not?
it's still possible
I think
because
it-
we
yeah.
have a saving time because the lease agreement ended on end of December,
December.
isn't it? So we have a lot of time to adjust this.
Okay.
But again, we need to understand well what's the agile, the requirement and everything.
Yeah. How far are you going to do
Right.
agile work?
Yeah, that's something that we have to talk about,
Yeah.
using the specialist and the video designer. And the next one is related to our existing workstation,
Yeah.
whether it is already under consideration for this phase.
Yes, the statement.
No, I mean the
No, the-
existing
You're
workstation.
using,
Oh.
yeah.
So,
Yes,
Yes, it is.
Yes.
absolutely.
so with this timeline, construction starting from February until June, you have considered that
You will be.
we are going to use our existing.
Yes.
Existing.
And also here we have the long lead deliveries, so that's where we would order if you need additional pieces. That's where we would take the time
Yeah.
to order it, and that is the time to secure it, basically. So of course, yes, if you do want to reuse your existing furniture, of course we can do a phased program. So depending on how your offices are broken up. Once we have a better understanding of that, we can allocate different departments to move, and have it more in a staged and phased program. But that kind of comes at stage 2 if we are appointed, I guess.
So the designer will help you in your place to handle this, to
Yeah.
reuse the existing furniture and take put to the new premises.
Yeah, we're able to provide a guy, maybe two guys to maybe a week if needed to really help you on the inventory checking and listing and then dimensioning if necessary. So don't need to worry. But it's always good. I mean, because we are only waiting for appointment. It's like 2 weeks time, right? Maybe you can already start with your inventory. So we are saving a little bit of time, but also quite good if we can be appointed before so that we can move straight ahead on the inventory checking. Parallelly with the brainstorming about the agile change management strategy about your offices, because definitely we need to really brainstorm. Maybe could be twice a week if it's necessary on the very beginning stage, because we need to know specifically about how many percentage of staffs that is need a dedicated table, how many percentage that can be mobile and things like that.
Do you have a similar project or office relocation which using existing furniture?
Existing furniture and then relocating it to the new office space.
In hours or so? Okay. You want to switch it?
Oh, the company profile?
Yes.
Sure.
Which one?
Maybe using existing furniture, not really, but maybe we can just show you our experience, right? Project capabilities and then also previous projects. Existing, because all my clients they use new feature, but I don't know yours.
Do you want to just plug your computer in?
Yes.
Yeah, I know you want to explain a bit.
Sorry. Well, actually, your questions earlier, whether or not we have clients who are actually reusing their workstations, existing one. We don't have it here actually, but I deal with that one. But most of the project is actually in Singapore and Hong Kong.
Okay.
So because we are a startup in Jakarta, we don't really have that kind of client locally. But in last time we do release. They moved from one Marina Boulevard to I think Peking Street, right? And they actually reuse it. And yeah, it's workable. It's doable as long as we know what you want, how many percentage that workstation that you actually want to use. We can actually mix and match, like I said. We can still retain some of your bench working. We can reconfigure them. We just call the vendors. It's simply as that, and then we just mix it with the new kind of system furniture that actually supports our working.
I think Singapore and Indonesia quite different, right?
So,
Singapore and Indonesia quite different in terms of the vendors and.
but what is your workstation? Where do you purchase it from?
I think it's made. I think it's. No, it's local. It's local.
If it is local, we have, I know Jones Lang has worked with companies where we've used the existing furniture and moved, over. We just do it in a phased program. If you have swing space, we'll work it out. In fact, we're doing one right now with Novartis at the AXA Tower. So they're kind of doing a restack of their current facility. So some of their workstations and everything they are currently using. And then we just do a phased restack of the facility.
Yep.
So yeah, if you have local furniture, that's also easier. And definitely, yeah, the lead time as far as ordering stuff is minimal.
Also sometimes for agile working space, right? We also use existing furniture. Normally we can adapt the furniture by changing the legs for some reason. To, for example, if it's a one desk and there's a leg at the right and the left side, and cannot cater for 2 person or 3 person. Like if you combine 2 tables into one, then you can provide 3 person actually. But you can just take out the legs in the middle and change, and then we work together with the workshops and the contractor, main contractor that is going to be appointed. Then we will also modify on the drawings so that they understand how to work on that, modify. Because Agile, sometimes you need to cater less space for private space, right? Like for example, for conservative office, you will have a very big desk, L-shaped desk, right? For mobile or Agile office space, normally you just have a very small desk, or normally it's not a workstation, it's more about bench. And so we normally at Agile we also try to evade the workstations because we want to combine and then have a bigger bench where you can stack up more people into and then have a bigger collaboration spaces. So actually we will assure that you don't need to be worried about your existing furniture. We will try to adapt and maximize as much as possible and use it in a different way if also needed, because sometimes we cannot retain the same shape, but we need to change, modify a little bit to cater for a new function. So this one actually, since we just started company, but most of us is I have 10 years of experience in Singapore, and we're also working as an interior designer, senior interior designer in Singapore for 7 to 8 years. So most of our experience also assure you that the quality that we will give you is the same as what we have been having the experience in Singapore. Actually, this is some of the experience, not necessarily to have an existing furniture and reconfigure, but just to show some.
No, but this is JPM, but frankly speaking, this is for the back office, family business part, but it's all new. So probably it's not suitable to show. Okay, this is for SAP, right? Yeah. So in terms of banking, we do work with Citi, JP Morgan, American Express, right, and then DBS as well.
In Singapore.
Yes,
Okay.
and so we have regional agreements as well at that time. So we do Jakarta, Bangkok for City, Jakarta, Bangkok, and then Shanghai, and then Philippines as well, because we do their regional design guideline.
So you met Alvin Chong, right? In
Uh,
Singapore? DBS?
DBS, nah,
No.
no. There's a lot of DBS actually. That time the DBS, they're doing their Chinese business part, 7th floor. Actually, that one handled by JL as well.
Mm.
Yeah, that's quite some time ago, 5 to 6 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's that's all.
Okay.
But Irwan, maybe based on the site visit, I saw the existing furniture. It looks like came from Amarta, and we did a lot of project with Amarta and Pak Johanda, and previously in city we can reuse and adaptable existing furniture. So I think we can handle this and from closely with them.
Okay.
And another.
So yes, the point that making is we want a new office.